Hey, my name's Derek Dupont with Accepted, and you're listening to our conversation with the one and only Nick Daly, the winner of Playbill's Search for a Star competition. Nick was an incredible guest who has such a passion for performance and sharing empathy through his art. We get into a lot, from how he grew a TikTok following of over 90,000 during quarantine to what it's like to take musical theater classes via Zoom. Let's get into it.
Hi, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going. I'm surviving and growing every moment. So,
Beautiful. Love to hear it. That's a great answer. Yeah, I'm trying to do the same. So where are you right now? Are you at Michigan?
I'm currently in Ann Arbor in my apartment.
Nice. What does school look like right now there? What are they doing for classes?
All classes are offered on Zoom. But there are some classes that are like a hybrid version. So, like my ballet class, even though it currently is 100% on Zoom, at the start of the year, it was like partially on Zoom, and you could come into class and participate, but there was like COVID safety measures and no like partner dancing. But yeah, everything is pretty much on Zoom. I did not personally go into the class only because schedule wise it wouldn't have worked. So
Interesting. What is ballet like on Zoom? How does that work? Is it tricky?
it is definitely tricky, at least for me. I am someone who needs in-person instruction
Yeah.
for dance for sure. Yeah, it's just hard. I remember the first time I tried to do Zoom ballet this semester, we didn't have Wi-Fi, so I was using my friend's phone, and the screen was
Wow.
small, and I
Yeah.
couldn't hear what was going on, and I couldn't see, and things were glitching. And then the last time I went to class, Zoom like kind of glitched out, and
Oh,
like half of
great.
us couldn't, finish the class. So,
Man, it's a whole new challenge.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll step back for a second and I'll introduce myself because we haven't met yet. And also, congratulations on winning Playbill Search for a Star. That's a super awesome honor. And I'm sure
Thank
you're
you.
super excited about it, but you should be proud. That's really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I'm Derek Dupont. I am the brand lead here with Accepted, and also tell you a little bit about Accepted because you might not be super familiar with who we are and what we do. But you used us to apply for the Playbill competition. So what we are is we're a tech company that we facilitate the application process for arts organizations all over the world. So we make it easy for people to connect with the organizations and schools that they want to go to and connect with, and we do it all virtually. So not only that, but we just launched a product where we're starting to make it really simple to do virtual live auditions as well. So especially in the age of COVID, it's something that we noticed was needed, a way to make the audition process, whether you're thousands of miles away or even in the same city, but how do we do that remotely but make it still feel personal? So that's something we just started as well. But that's in a nutshell what we are here at Accepted. So I have a lot I want to talk to you about. So if you don't mind, I think we'll just dive right into some stuff. Does that sound good?
Wonderful.
So to start with, I'd love for you just to tell me about yourself a little bit, maybe some of your history, your inspiration for what you're doing now, and a little bit about what you are doing now.
A little about myself. Well, my name is Nick Daly. I am a current sophomore at the University of Michigan. I'm from Kenosha, Wisconsin. I went to Bradford High School, which they have such a great theater arts program. I mean, I feel like I've definitely been singing for as long as I can remember. I've been doing musical theater since like the 5th grade, so it's like year 10 now. And yeah, I definitely I think that being a performer, being an artist, being a storyteller, at least for me personally, was more so a calling than something that I decided that I wanted to do. It was more so something that I accepted that I have to do. Only because I can't do anything else.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, no, that's great. I love the idea of like comparing this to being a storyteller. I think it's something that a lot of performers don't grasp onto that until later on. And so for someone your age to really grasp onto that, I think is important. And it does speak to, viewing it as more of a calling than a career, just being able to use it to tell your story and just like your authentic you through what you do. So that kind of brings me into my next thing that I want to talk about, social media. So you are viral on TikTok, right? Around 90,000 followers. Is that right?
Yes, 94.3
Sheesh.
as of this morning.
Man, that is crazy. So let's talk a little bit about that. I'd love to hear. I mean, how did you do that? Did you intentionally build that following? How did it happen?
I I think, I mean, it's just one of those things that, you do something, and if it's meant for you, then it'll happen.
Yeah.
But I definitely got on TikTok at the beginning of quarantine because being an artist, like, there was no work, there was nothing I could do. I was feeling kind of stagnant, and I felt the need to create. So I started, using my training and creating TikToks. And there's like there's like a small little like musical theater TikTok community.
For sure. Yeah.
And yeah, I just kind of started posting and people started noticing. I'm not actually a lot of TikTokers blow up really fast, and they'll get like hundreds of thousands of followers overnight. I've never actually, like, none of my videos have ever gotten over, I've never hit 1 million views on a video. So I've never like really, really gone viral. My following has grown gradually over the course of the last few months. I remember there was a period I was growing like maybe like 200, 300 followers per night. And so I think, that's another reason why I'm so grateful, because, these aren't like people that saw one video of me and don't like any of my other content. Like, these are people that, have either been here from the beginning or, have seen all of my content. And then,
yeah, they're here for the whole of you.
Truly. So I'm super grateful for that.
It's been just in the last few months. This has been since quarantine that you started that?
Yes.
That's wild. The growth. That's still, you said it's not overnight, but to me, that feels like overnight still. That's super quick. That is very cool. How does that, this is kind of a bigger question, but thinking about like your aspirations, where you want to go, and then thinking about that too, how does that play into that? Does it play into that, or where do you want to go? What's your goals look like?
I think that TikTok has definitely helped me with exposure for sure. Most of the opportunities, dare I say all of them, I simply would not have them if I did not have that following on TikTok, and that visibility. I started growing on Instagram because I was posting my TikTok content on Instagram, and there's a lot of like overlap between my TikTok followers and my Instagram followers. I see myself as, like I said before, a storyteller. So I mean, I'm definitely a performer. I'm also a playwriting minor. I love singing, I love acting. I am growing to love dancing. But I definitely, I don't see myself as a Broadway performer or a TV film person. Like, I definitely, I wouldn't put myself in a box. And I think my content on TikTok has maybe not varied necessarily, in the sense that I do post a lot of musical theater content. But even within that musical theater content, it's very diverse. Only because, like I said before, like, I am an artist that wants to not be put in a box. So I think that TikTok is definitely helping me in that sense, to where the visibility that I am getting, people are realizing that, oh my gosh, like, yes, he's singing Maria from West Side Story in one video, but he's also like singing like some pop song or something from a more contemporary musical. And also roles that I typically wouldn't play. So yeah, I think TikTok is definitely helping me to get to that point in my career.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a cool way to be able to show, like you were talking about, like your different avenues, your different diversity and experience and ability to quickly be able to show those like snapshots and not have to go into a full project to be able to show that. I think it's a really nice platform for that. So that's cool to utilize it in that way. Awesome. So I'm going to change gears a little bit. I'd love to talk about what inspires you. So what gets you out of bed in the morning and gets you going, and what keeps you creating?
What inspires me? Oh my gosh. I mean, I love, I definitely love what I do. I love to create. But I think more so, like, I recognize that I am a member of, humanity. I'm a member of the universe. And I do think that everyone has a purpose. And I know that my purpose is to, bring joy when there needs to be joy, bring healing, educate when there needs to be education, and really push for positive social change, I think. So I would say that conviction keeps me going for sure. Yeah, I definitely, I am but a vessel, truly.
Amen. Aren't we all? Yes. That's awesome. Yeah. So last couple things to wrap up here. What advice would you give to aspiring creatives, performers, people like yourself who are just looking for their place in the world, and how do they really tell their own story? What kind of advice would you give to people?
There's so much. I would definitely say don't put yourself in a box unless you want to put yourself in a box.
That's right.
But yeah, everyone has the ability to bring their own unique take on any role, any character. So don't be afraid to be different. And also, I would say one piece of advice that I got that, I mean, is definitely very resonant, even though it might not be as joyful, is that if you can do something else, then you probably should do something else. Only because, I mean, I definitely do feel like it is a calling. And if I could, like, truly, if I could do anything else, I would. And I do, because I definitely write and I love being behind the table just as much as I love being on stage. So, take advantage of it all.
That's great. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about having that varied experience and varied ability, and not putting all your eggs in one basket and really just focusing on one thing. I mean, if there's anything that, this whole situation has taught a lot of us, is to be able to be flexible and be ready for whatever, especially performers, right? It's really, really changed the industry and flipped it on its head. And we're seeing a lot of people getting really creative about, how they make ends meet and how they show their creativity. So I think that's great advice to give to anyone, to just continue to soak it all up and try things and be ready for whatever. So kind of a final cheesy question that wraps into who we are here at Accepted. It's really just the question of, what does it mean to you to be accepted? And I'll let you kind of think about that however you want to. It's a really broad question. A lot of people think about it differently, but just the idea of like being accepted, what does that mean to you?
Being accepted. Well, for me personally, my brain immediately goes to the idea of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging.
Mm-hmm.
And feeling like I'm valued in a space and valued for what I have to offer, and not just for what I look like, because that would be performative. But yeah, I would definitely say being valued in a space in a way that reflects my own view of my own intrinsic value as a human being, as an artist.
That's a great answer. Absolutely. Yes, that is a great definition of being accepted. I love it. Awesome. Well, this has been great chatting. Before we wrap up, I'd love to just kind of give you the floor. If there's anything else you want to share, anything else that you want to talk about or put out there that we can share with our audience.
Ooh, something that I think would be important. Okay, here we go. Musical theater, performance, all forms of media, whether that be TV, film, Broadway, YouTube videos. I think that as an artist, I see myself as someone who teaches and practices empathy. And I think that empathy is like a muscle, in the sense that every time you use it, it gets stronger. And so when people, especially, come to the theater, because being in a theatrical space is much different than watching something on Netflix or watching a movie. But having that experience, like as an audience member, when you feel for a character, or when you root against the bad guy, or when you're moved by a story, like that is the audience practicing their empathy. And like as an actor, when I step into a role, that is me, increasing that muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it becomes this giant machine, this giant empathy machine. And I think that's where the power of art, lies, is in that. And I definitely think that is what will create a better, more egalitarian society.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well said. That is a great bit to share. I'm glad you thought of that. That's awesome. Well, I've really enjoyed talking with you. This has been an awesome conversation, and I think you have a lot of great thoughts, and I love, where you're headed and what you're doing, and I'm excited to see what you do and really where you end up. So where can people find you if people want to follow you? What's the best accounts to find you at?
Well, I am Nick_T_Daly on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Definitely all the content is on TikTok. Like I post there so often.
Perfect. Cool. But yeah, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate your time.
Awesome.
Nick.
Thank you so much for reaching out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can find Nick on all major social media platforms at NICK_T_DALY. And remember, we want to hear your stories about what it's like to be an artist. So make sure you send those to us on our social media accounts. Check out Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.